Hello, today I want to talk about the number one question you should ask before buying a tax deed from any county. And that is one of the things I want to talk about today because what I'm learning, because as you guys know, it's just me. I do have a few assistants, but I only invest in certain counties. This year I have taken upon myself to go to different states to invest just because I've had so many amazing students tell me about so many amazing deals. So I've decided to go into different states to invest as opposed to Texas and California. And one of the things that I have learned personally is that every state issues a different type of deed. So one of the things that I feel that is really important before you actually even go to an auction, before you find out about tax deeds in a specific state, I would be very conscientious of knowing what type of deed, because depending on the state, you may have to quiet a title. Now, luckily, I've been in states where you don't have to quiet titles. I know there's a few counties in Florida where you have to do that, but there are some counties that you don't. So it just really depends on the state as well as the county. But what I want you to get from this video today is what are the different type of deeds, and you need to ask these questions like, what is the type of deed that I would get at an auction, or even if you're buying the properties over counter. So one of the things you need to ask them is that deed, can it be transferable? Meaning, if once I get that deed, do I need to quiet the title? Number one. Number two, if I get that deed, are there any other further steps that I need to do? And then number three, is there a requirement by you issuing me this deed to get a quiet title? So those are some of the things that I would ask prior to actually going to a tax deed auction and acquiring a deed that may not be as simple and as easy of getting rid of. Once you get that deed, I do kind of like just go over a lot in regards to tax deeds and why it is such a great investment. But I'm also learning, as I'm dealing with students all across the United States, is that all the deeds aren't fair. Just put it that way. So one of the number one questions, once again, is asking what type of deed, and are there any other steps that I would need to do once I acquire that deed? I had a student that purchased a property. Luckily, she had me as a coach, right? Because she was trying to sell a property and they were telling her she had to quiet the title. But I had enough knowledge to know you did not buy that from the auction. And so therefore you don't have to quiet the title. But what I didn't know was that they did not issue her an actual grant deed. So she did have to go through one step in order to acquire the deed in order to sell it, or she could quit claim that deed. And so one of the things that I'm learning is that a lot of times if an individual has not ever bought a property, there's a lot of different things that you may not know. But I do thank God for YouTube, because sometimes YouTube can answer that for you. But because this is such a niche investment type of thing, it's kind of important to know these things. That's why I kind of like to share different things that you should know if you don't have a coach. And that's basically what I want you to get out of this video, is that if you're going to do it on your own, make sure you ask that county what type of deed you're going to get. And in the next video, I will talk about the different type of deeds, so you'll know what type of deeds to look for, and you'll also know what type of deeds don't require quieting the title. Now, personally, I was doing a whole nother transaction that did not require, it was not a tax deed, and my actual owner of a property had to quiet the title because it was clouded. But I don't even want to get into that because I don't want to confuse you. What I want you to get from this video is, when you're going into a county prior to the auction, prior to even investing in any type of tax deed, be very clear on what type of deed you are getting issued, and then if there are any other further steps that you need to do once you have been issued that type of deed. Stay tuned. I will talk about the different deeds in another video, and I hope you please like and subscribe if this video was helpful.